Hi everybody, it's me, GhostCritic. It's Monday, it's time for a Well That Happened video. I look back on the news stories in comics of the past week, find something that intrigues me or interests me, and I have my say on that. Last week wasn't incredibly eventful news-wise. Yes, Marvel and DC are throwing out all their solicitations for books before, during and after their huge big events that they are battling for your attention with in the coming months. Convergence, Divergence being DC's and Marvel's Battle World Bonanza. So this week I thought I want to address DC and Marvel directly. Fine, you are having these big events, but it's after that I want to talk to you about. And I have 5 points I'd like to happen once I know you don't like to say it, but they are kind of sounding very much like soft reboots to an extent. So once you've got over this event, these are the 5 things I'd like you to think about. The first one, less eventful. No more event books for a while. Let's give it at least a year, because DC and Marvel, you are both at fault here. You always say this is the event that is going to change the DC, the Marvel universe, until the next one, which comes mere months after it. There is no potency in your events anymore. There's no long-lasting consequences. So you have these 2 huge events coming up. Dandidio, you've said once this event is done and put to rest that you're going to concentrate more on stories rather than continuity, and I mentioned a little bit about that last week. But okay, let's deal with the characters' stories in their own books and let them work themselves out just in those titles. And that goes for Marvel too. It's just the event, the word event has become meaningless now because they are no longer events. They're just storyline after storyline after storyline. And your characters are not developing in their own little small parts of your universes. And they are just triggered off by what is the latest event. And you might as well just have one book that's like, I don't know, 50 pages long with all the titles crammed in it, telling these big event stories. Number 2, diversity. But now it's all very well having diversity within our comic books, and I'm all for it, but there has to be a reason for it. I'm not a big fan of just taking what was historically a white character such as Captain America and using a black man to become Captain America. That's nowhere original. Okay, that's a black character that you've now got in your roster, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's very lazy. And as much as I'm enjoying the new Thor title that now has a female Thor, again, it's this very lazy, just transferring one gender, one race, one religion into a pre-existing character that was the opposite of it. It's lazy. Create great characters, new characters, original characters, and don't use the diversity banner to look politically correct. Use it to tell a story that means something, not just making it look like you are doing something good involving diverse characters, whether they be male, female, black, white, gay, straight. It doesn't matter. There has got to be meaning behind that choice. Number 3, price point. Oh, I don't think you're going to listen to me on this one. DC, do you remember back just before the New 52, you had this wonderful slogan, drawing the line at $2.99. Where's that gone? Marvel, you're not much better. Okay, you didn't have a fancy slogan, but now you're double shipping on all your big books. You've raised them to $3.99. I can't afford all that. And I'm a guy that has a full-time job. I'm pretty well paid, but even that's a push for me. So just think about those younger people that are coming up, these supposed new readers that you want to entice into our comic book community. I very much doubt they have this kind of spare cash hanging around. And you know what? The fact is, they're not going to spend that money on a $3.99 book that will last them tops 20 minutes. And then they'll throw on the side when they can probably have a video game that's going to last them weeks upon weeks. You have to think about what else they are buying. Come on, it's not difficult. The lower the price, the more people will buy it. All these books that had very strong, cult followings, I guess, that actually didn't sell very well because it was characters that maybe people didn't really understand, but those writers, those creators that were touching those books were writing some really good stories, but you priced them too high and nobody wanted to take the chance on those books. Put the prices down. Give people a chance to try these books out, to give them 2 or 3 issues to actually grasp what the characters are, what their position is within the Marvel Universe. Realise that somebody is writing a damn good story, that an artist is putting on some great looking art, and people will continue to buy that product that you are putting out. Maybe I'm just being a little bit ignorant. I understand there's people to pay, there's printers, there's artists, there's distributors, but I just don't see it. I don't see the problem in, or the notion that, you know, if you overprice things, less people are going to buy it, and eventually you're going to have to stop printing that comic book. You're going to stop those creators from writing really, really good books. Point 4, to hell with Hollywood. Look, it's great that we have this plethora of new films now that are mining the comic book history. And while they may not stick to the origins, the true origins of these characters, let them have their Hollywood universe that resides in their comic book universe. Because you know what? That audience that are watching those films, they are not being transferred into actually reading comics. That is a fact. Otherwise, our comic books would be selling millions of copies, not thousands, hundreds of thousands, not even hundreds of thousands, I would doubt. So forget about trying to make your universe more movie friendly. Stop trying to make the characters look like their movie counterparts, because they are not. The movie going audience, the majority of the movie going audience are not comic book readers, and they will not go and transfer their movie viewing pleasure to their comic book pleasure. So yes, forget the movie industry. Focus on what you've been doing well for over 70 years. Finally, 5, new blood. Bring in some bright new talent. I'm fine, okay, Scott Snyder, Brian Michael Bendis, Jeff Johns, they've done some great stuff, and that's fine, but stop giving them all these books. Let's give some new creators, some new writers, some new artists that chance to prove themselves. And if they don't turn out well, that's fine. You will find someone, some new, great, exciting, passionate people. Having the same people regurgitate and be this architects of your universe, it's starting to hit a one note. I've heard Scott Snyder's Batman now, and as good as it is, I'd like to hear someone else's voice now. Brian Michael Bendis, you've done Avengers now, you've done X-Men. Give someone else that new chance. Don't rely on the old established names, like, you know, we don't need to have Chris Claremont come back. It will bring a youthful, fresh, attractive style to your books, and might get some of those younger readers in. That's my little rant over. Thank you all for watching. Tell me what you thought of my points. What would you like to see DC and Marvel do after their two big events? Do you agree or disagree with my points? I'll await your comments in the box down below. Again, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you've not subscribed already, and hit the thumbs up button to tell me that you liked it. Until next week, take care. Bye bye.